Okay, hello everyone. This is topic 18. So this topic, the name is long. The ligaments, tendon, and the joints. But actually, this topic mainly so it focuses on the joints, and then also we talk about the many of the joints and the materials that are made of the joints. It's mainly ligament or some other non-ligament fibrous tissues and cartilage and and then more complicated in the cartilage called it synovial in a joint called synovial joint. And then we are also going to talk about a little bit of a tendon. So basically, this topic is all about how the bones are connected to other tissues, to other bones or muscles. And so let's first begin with the joints. So there are different types of joints, and based on how they can move, we basically divide into fibers. Two things we can move. Fibrous joints and cartilage joints and synovial joints. Let's first talk about the fibrous joint. Fibrous joints, it cannot move, no movement or little movement, and also it is has relatively simple structures. Mainly, in most cases, we say two bones are connected to each other by a simple, dense connective tissue. And one of the example here is the skull. You say if you look into the skull from the top, you see like like a peace sign. But this skull are joined together as frontal parietal. They are joined together by a joint. This is called suture. Suture, to be honest, I try to find out whether suture still exists in the adults. I did not. Most likely say adult people still have suture. However, in the young kids, at least the suture is much larger than the adults. And this flexible suture inside the suture is not the simple just a glue. It actually has many different cells. It's a dense connective tissue has many different cells, and the suture remains flexible to allow the brain to allow the skull to keep changing shape so that which accommodate for the brain to grow bigger and bigger. So there's a disease called, not a kind of a condition, not really a kind of disease, but a premature suture fusion. What is a suture fusion? You see, along with aging, this suture just becomes smaller and smaller and smaller, and and then eventually these two bones close to each other. This is called suture closure or suture fusion. And that's the point. That's the thing I said. I tried to figure out, but it's only a definition in adults, but not it's actually more than definition because I didn't really find out whether in the adults, for example, if these two skull cap bones still have any fibrous tissue between these bones. I didn't find out, and if you want, you can find out at least a very thin. And this we call it the suture fusion. And I believe there's some very thin fibrous tissues between the skulls. And when the suture is fused up, the skull have almost no capacity of growing larger or bigger. So if the suture fused before the brain fluid grows, it's called premature of the suture fusion. In this cases, and then the bone, this is probably our skull, so weird, like this, and then premature, maybe elongated bone, like aliens, something, whatever. I don't think you can figure out what I'm trying to do. But anyway, so it is to change the shape of the brain, but change the shape of the skull, but say a big but. So the brain growth has a strong power. In most cases, this does not affect the intelligence of the people, only the shape of the head. So this is the fibrous joint, and next let's talk about the cartilage joint. The most important, yeah, probably the most important joint is the inter in inter intervertebral disc. We have mentioned this a lot of times, and I think probably this is the last time I'm going to mention this one. This is the most abundant cartilage joint, and which join two vertebrae together, and you can tell between each of those two vertebrae that the angle they can bend is pretty small, minor bending, but we have 36 vertebrae joined together. They can bend a pretty significant angle. For example, just talking about the head of the neck, the cervical vertebrae, most people can bend forward 90 degrees, sideward 90 degrees, rotate 90 degrees, and backward about 45 degrees. And the reason that our spine can be so flexible, largely because that the intervertebral disc is very flexible and elastic. This is not a typical cartilage, to be honest, and because it's not a solid, it's inside this, and this inside called nucleus pulposus, and this inside and outside layer and outside layer called annulus fibrous, and the annulus fibrous is a typical fibrous, the typical fibrous cartilage. And the internal disc contain a lot of notochordal cells. And I hope you still remember notochordal cells. We have notochord. When was it? When we still were a fetus, and they gradually replaced by the intervertebral disc and the vertebrae. And even though there's some of those still survive in the center of the intervertebral disc, called nuclear corpuscles. And for some reason, and these let's say notochordal cells, in some book it's also called notochordal-like cells, but they actually just derived from notochordal cells at the very beginning. And I need to get a new page before this. Okay, never mind. So the product here, right? Okay, I'm going to use a new layer, and I can hide this layer. Yes, new layer. Good. A new page. Okay. Let's draw another. I'm trying. Let's say. So. Here. Huh? This one. Notochordal cells. And these cells stay there. They not only just stay there, they produce hyaluronic sorry, I forgot the acids, and hyaluronic acids and other proteoglycans inside the center, and then they're liquid. They're gel like gel-like liquid inside, and then they can change shapes, give the flexibility and the elastic. And outside, this is called annulus fibrous. The annulus fibrous has a strong um, collagen. Collagen 2. Collagen 2 is strong and soft. It's different than, say, our skin, under skin is collagen 1. Collagen 1 is more stiffer, and the collagen 2 is softer. And then basically this is one is very flexible and flexible and strong. And this whole structure gives the spinal cord the capability of stretch and the bending. But in some cases, however, they start to die. This die maybe as younger as 10-year-old. And then when the notochordal cells gradually die, and this they firstly they produce less contents, less hyaluronic acid, protein glycan in the center, so less and reduced volume of the nucleus pulpus. And then they also the less of signal also reduce this one. There are less chondral cells and less collagen 1, collagen 2. Collagen 1 become collagen 2 become collagen 1 and 3. So, and then this whole thing become shorter and become shorter and more fragile. And the outside here may be penetrated by so this not by some of those nucleus pulpus may penetrate into annulus fibrous and making this different shape. And also one more thing is that I think I told you. Normally, this is nerve ending. Nerve ending doesn't enter in the disc, and so whenever we move around, you don't really feel the pain. However, when there's a different change in the hyaluronic in the notochordal cells, the nerve ending get in, and then people start to feel pain whenever we move around, and this we call it degenerative intervertebral disc, and which causing pain of the spine. And some of those may even block and squeeze the nerves, causing the weakness of the body. This is the leading cause, number one cause of disability. Disability worldwide. So that's about the cartilage joints. Next, let's talk about the synovial joints. A synovial joint. What's the key feature of a synovial joint? We have one bone on this side, the other bone from the other side, and the key feature is that there is a cavity here, and the cavity is filled with fluid, and this fluid we call them synovial synovial or synovial fluid. What means synovial? Syno means like, ovia means egg. This means something like egg white. This is the original meaning of this word. And then the synovial joints, it means some joints contain liquid. This liquid like egg white. And what's in the liquid? Again, hyaluronic acid. And hyaluronic acid, also, of course, it's a protein, contain also glycoproteins, and this not only like say lubricate, of course, it lubricate the bones joints, and then on the surface of the bone joint, also two layer of everything inside, two layer of the cartilage that they call it. They call the articular cartilage, and hyaluronic acid also we call it Newtonian liquid. What does it mean? It means normally, for example, water or other milk, they have a constant viscosity. So if you try to push water, the more strength you push into the water, and you feel easier to push through the water. That's a Newtonian liquid. And non-liquid liquid is that these particles not fully liquid. If you push them harder, it's like you're pushing some solid ground, you generate greater friction. And the great friction will stop and make your pushing further difficult. In this case, the synovial liquid inside the joints can serve an additional cushioning, because when there's a sudden force coming into this joint, the liquid suddenly become very hard. Even because you feel like sometimes you feel like it's a solid, because it generates a huge friction, and it is a protection of the joint. And what kind of cells produce those? In the side, in the very inner side of the capsule, there's a layer, they call it synovial membrane. And in the synovial membrane, there's two types of cells: macrophage-like synoviocytes, or fibroblast-like synoviocytes. The two types of cells. And then the macrophage-like synoviocytes, mainly in charge of cleaning up this environment. The fibro-like synoviocytes produce the liquid. They produce the synovia, the liquids. And they not only produce the liquid, they also have some immune regulation or modulation function. And in these cases, somehow these cells has a potential to be converted into a very aggressive cancer-like cell. When they become a cancer-like cell, they may escape from here and invade into the cartilage and even into the bone, and back to damage their own capsule. And one way they can invade by themselves, and also they can produce a lot of cytokines to recruit other immune cells to come into the joint to destroy other cells. And this become a kind of a serious condition, and you may have heard of rheumatoid arthritis. And I think it's happened in a higher chance in female than male. and I'm not 100% sure, and also more more predominant wrist and fingers. And given time, you can see even for people with rheumatoid arthritis, they even have their hand are D-shaped. They're different weird shape there, and pain and swelling, things like that. But rheumatoid arthritis is not the most common. They are not the most common arthritis. The most common arthritis are called osteo. Oh, I forgot. I forgot the word. Let me double check. Yeah, just osteoarthritis. Osteoarthritis. Yeah, just osteoarthritis. What happened? What happened to the osteoarthritis? I see. Yeah, this mainly osteoarthritis is not something really trying to attack anything. Rather, it's like this cartilage here become degenerated, and the cartilage becomes thinner and thinner. And then beneath this one, here is the bone. They call it subfrontal subfrontal. Yes, it's subfrontal bones. And here it does not have periosteum. I didn't mention periosteum. I mentioned in my slides, my very first slide, the periosteum, and periosteum contain stem cells called osteogenic cells. Osteogenic cells can make the bone become grow. It has a lot of blood vessels, osteogenic cells, and also osteoblasts. They can grow the bone thicker and denser. In last class, we talked about the bone cannot grow longer because of this period of the epiphyseal plate. But with exercise, proper training, it can grow bigger, thicker, and denser, all thanks to the osteogenic cells in the periosteum. However, when you have the cartilage here, the cartilage covering these places, it does not have osteogenic cells. It has only osteoblast cells. What's the difference between osteoblast cells and osteogenic cells? Osteoblast cells can produce bone matrix and convert into osteocytes, but it cannot be converted into chondrocyte. In some cases, in some special cases, osteogenic cell can even convert into a chondrocyte to produce more cartilage layer. But in these cases, since there's no osteogenic cells, only osteoblast, no chondrocytes will be produced, and only grow more bones. And then again, without osteogenic cells, the bone that grows is abnormal growth of the bone, abnormal growth of the bone. And you can think about the bone is more harder than the cartilage, and making this surface, when people move around the surface, generate a lot of pain and stiffness because the loss of the cartilage. This is the number one type of the arthritis called osteoarthritis. And I think that's it for the synovial joints. And interesting. I like this way. Okay. So what else? Let me think. What else? And talk about ligament. Oh yeah, I think I forgot to mention the ligaments. Ligaments can exist by itself to make the fibrous joint, or they can exist inside or outside the other type of synovial joint. And ligament, it has a fibroblast inside. It's basically is a dense regular connective tissue. It has fibroblast and plus the collagen 1 that it made it. And it has a very scars. I'll just few blood vessels. Overall, because fibroblast itself can replicate, although in a very old rate, and they can produce collagens. And you have blood vessel in the ligaments, or they can regenerate it in a very mild injury of the ligaments. We call it grade 1. It can regenerate by itself. However, if like say in the grade 2, it has some major tear, it takes much longer for the ligament to regenerate, and probably need a physical therapy. And grade 3 is a completely tear of the ligaments, and often you need a surgery to make it fully recover. However, overall ligament, they have a limited regeneration. They can regenerate. It's different than the cartilage in human beings. Cartilage, except for the meniscus in the knee joints, most cartilage do not have this regeneration capacity at all. You cut a hole in your ear, the hole is forever there. And the tears, the tear, right? Up here, the piercing of the ear, they can grow back, but all the grow back is the connective tissue, the other soft tissue, not the cartilage. Cartilage cannot grow back, and so yeah, that's a ligament. And then compared to ligament, let's talk about the tendon. What's the difference between the ligament and tendon? Ligament join bones to bone, and tendon join muscles to bone. And there are also other difference. Tendons by their structure is also different than the ligaments. And let's say I think I took this as a chance to introduce collagen. We mentioned about collagen for many times. So what is collagen? Collagen is protein, and this protein has just write in a different way. This protein, one collagen protein has three chains, and this we give a name, call it triple helix. Do you remember what is double helix? Double helix is a DNA. So this is a triple helix, and then you see I use only two colors, blue, and red. This is the most common arrangement of a collagen. Two chain identical and one chain different. It's the most common, not everything. For example, type 1, 2, 1, 3, and so far as I know, 1, 3, 4 all follow this pattern. Two identical, one different. And what is the different than this one? You can have sorry, very bad. Okay, never mind. And this is type 2. Type 2 has only one type of chain, and they all identical. And the type 1 is the most common. More than 90% of the collagen in our body is made of type 1. For example, the bone, the skin, beneath skin have collagen, the tendon, fur, and the ligaments. All of those are made of a type 1, mainly made of type 1. Type 3 normally it coexists with type 1. Bind to type 1, but type 3 is a very low proportion. And where you can find type 2? cartilage. You remember we talked about in the whatever in the intervertebral disc. This intervertebral disc here is mainly about type 2. When you have the degenerated intervertebral disc, type 2 is replaced by type 1 and 3 and become more rigid, more stiff, with lost their flexibility and elastic, and they may be ruptured by internal nuclear pulpus. And I think that's all that we want to know about the collagen. And next, let's talk about the tendon. In the tendon, you have the collagen fiber, and collagen fiber is normally 300 nanometers long. And each collagen fiber, they automatically join together, forming this called fibril. Fibril is a small, tiny structure in a nanometer scale, small size. You have collagen fibril, and also the actin fibril. All of the tiny, long kind of fiber-like structure in a nanometer scale, we call it fibril. So in the tendon, the collagen automatically form this is called collagen fibril. A collagen fibril, not one collagen fibril actually, it should be more something like this. Long. And then there's another one. And then there's another one. They are interconnected together. Collagen, let me see. Yes, they are connected together by proteoglycan, and a big compound with sugar and the protein, especially agrecan. This is the same proteoglycan existing in the, again I'm talking about this interdisc. This same glycoprotein existing inside the nuclear pulpus, and this glycan bind multiple collagen fiber together into some tendon fiber. And there's a multiple. You can check my slides. There are multiple layer of this of the structure, and start from the fibril. One fibril get into the fibril, collagen fibril become a tendon fiber. Some other thing happen is that now you have cells coming in, tenocytes. Tenocytes is a specialized fibroblast. It exists in the tendon to produce collagen. They produce collagen, and tenocytes not only produce collagen, they also produce an enzyme to digest collagen, which means it's not only produce new collagen, but also clear up the damaged and the old collagen. So tenocytes are very important to sustain the homeostasis of the tendon. And then when this tendon fiber joined together, they are enclosed by endotendon. The endotendon is a loose connective tissue membrane to hold the tendon fiber together. There are multiple layers or hierarchical structures. At some level, this is a tendon. They start to have blood vessel running through the endotendon. When there's a blood vessel running through, this is called tendon vesicle. A tendon vesicle means a bundle of tendon fiber have blood vessels running through its endotendon. Yeah, and then later they are further bind into big several vesicle bind together, and here there's several layers. This is called this is called epitendon, and this is called peri. Epitendon and peritendon both give makes the tendon say some lubrication. and to like cushion and lubrication to make it flexible for the tendon to move around in between other tissues, and also the endotendons also make it possible to tendon fibers and tendon physicals, they can make relative movement. Overall, those loose connective tissues can reduce the tension, that can reduce the tension within the tendon. And one more thing, let's say, get a new page. Let's see. Let's move in, let's say, tendon regeneration. For tendon regeneration, tendon, if we have to find a chart. The worst for regeneration is cartilage, and then ligaments a little bit better, and then tendon is better than ligament. Because why? Because it has more blood vessel, because now tendon has all of those endotendons to bring the blood vessels, and it has more specified tenocytes, clean up the old collagen and produce new collagen, and another thing called it tendon stem or progenitor cells, TSPC. These are widely existing in the tendons, and what their function, they can become tenocytes. And so it means not only tenocytes can produce more collagen and clean up the old collagen, they're also a source of stem cell to produce to provide more tenocytes here. So in this case, because of that, tendon has a stronger regenerative capacity than ligaments. And what's even better than the tendon, the bone is better. Bone has osteogenic cells and a lot of blood vessels running inside the bone. So bone is better. Which one is the best in this whole system? Muscle. Muscles regeneration we'll talk about maybe in the next topic or the next topics. Probably next topics. And so this is a tendon regeneration. And lastly, let's talk about the muscle. This is much better than moving around. Okay, so lastly, let's talk about the muscle. The future 3 topics will mainly focus on the muscle, and today we just briefly talk about the muscle structure. A muscle is fundamental units of a muscle is called it should be this way. Anyway, they call it muscle fiber. This is a muscle fiber. Muscle fiber is also a single muscle cell, and one muscle fiber is enclosed by endomycin. This is a membrane, blood vessels running through the endomycin. Each muscle fiber or each muscle cell is nourished by a rich capillary. That's why muscle is have high capability of regeneration. Each cells are nourished by endomycin, the blood vessel in the endomycin, and then multiple muscles join together to form a muscle physical. Let me double check. I forgot the name of the structure. There's a name for this structure. Oh, really? We also call it muscle physical. Yes. And then multiple muscle fiber joined together, call it muscle physical. And muscle physical is enclosed by epi or peri. Oh, let me see. I think peri, epi, peri. Perimycin. And in the and then perimycin, several muscle physical eventually draw on one piece of muscle. This one piece of muscle is covered by epimycin. Epimycin and perimycin is different than endomycin. Endomycin major function is to nourish the muscle fiber. It mainly made of a loose connective tissue, but both of those is made by dense connective tissue. Dense regular, dense irregular. What are tissue called by dense regular? The tendon. So actually, one at the end of the muscle, you see this end of muscle. The muscle is here in the center, and then at the very end here, there's no muscle cells. Muscle fiber stop here, and then this places is full of. There's in some place in the muscle now it's full of the peri and epimycin. Peri and epimycin, when they join together, they are actually continuing with the tendon fiber. It blend into the tendon fiber because all of those are the dense regular or dense irregular. Dense regular and dense irregular, the difference is that whether they are aligned and they basically, so that's the way how muscle and tendon join together. The perimycin and epimycin of the muscle, at the end of muscle, when there's no longer muscle fibers, they join, they fuse together, become the tendon. They blend into the tendon fiber. So, and this also called muscle tendon junction. And let's see, I think I didn't mention this one. On the other side, this is muscle, tendon, and the bones. This is bones. And here, there's also this also a special name for it. They call it emphasis. I'm not sure my spelling is correct. And this is half cartilage, half tendon here. And this is another special connection to form the connection between the tendon and the bones. So the whole tendon has gradually change of the tissues from muscle tissue with dense connective tissue to dense connective tissue itself, and dense connective tissue plus cartilage, and then eventually get into the bone tissue, and then the cartilage. Of course, here we have the chondrocytes and collagen to form the tendon to bone connection. I think that's all for today. Hope you enjoy. Bye bye.